Hello, welcome back to the Common Sense Lifestyle. I'm Robert M. Ross, and I'm a licensed professional counselor here in the state of Pennsylvania. I want to talk about something a little bit different today. I'm going to talk about the nature of therapy. What is therapy? And the title for today's episode is The Dirty Little Secrets of Therapy. Always my disclaimer, I am not your therapist. This is not a therapy session. Nothing in this video should be considered to be mental health treatment. If you need to seek out mental health treatment, do it in your local area. Find a local qualified professional. You can find that, call your insurance company, ask them who's in network in your area, or you can go onto websites like Psychology Today and they have a find a therapist function that's pretty useful. So on to our topic, the dirty little secrets of therapy. See, I kind of get annoyed with how therapy is portrayed most of the time on TV and movies. Now, obviously, there's always an exception to this, but how it's portrayed is very annoying to me. And this is how it's portrayed. The therapist and the client will sit and they'll talk and they'll talk and they'll talk and they'll talk until they find that one magical thing that makes everything better. That's the cause of all the problems. And then they cry, they hug, and then everyone's better after that. There's a big problem with that. It absolutely, positively does not happen in real life. Does not occur. It's a complete falsehood. Here's dirty little secret of therapy number one. Therapy is not something that is done to a person and then the person is therefore changed by it. You don't drag an unwilling participant into therapy and therapize them and suddenly they're a different person. I don't put electrodes on their head. We don't transfer their brain into a chicken like they used to do in old cartoons. That doesn't occur. Therapy is actually a process by which people learn to identify their problems, because you have to know what's going on before you can do something about it, and then learn how to either cope with the problem, because it's something you can't change, you have to learn to cope, or you learn to overcome it and go past it. Dirty little secret of therapy number two. Therapy requires a willing participant. I can't make anyone do anything. I can't make them change. I can't cause them to quote unquote act right. I can't do anything to a human being. Someone has to want change in order therefore to get a chance for change. A good analogy would be a lot of people are former smokers, and God bless them, I'm glad you quit. No one can make a person quit smoking. You can try, but you're going to fail. People quit smoking when they're good and ready to quit smoking, and then they find a way to quit. But you can't make them do it before they're ready to do it. And that's the same thing with therapy. I can't make someone change who doesn't want to change. If someone's willing to change and willing to do the work that's necessary to achieve change, I'm their guy. I'm ready for you. I'll be more than happy to help. But I can't force somebody to do something they can't do or they won't do. Another thing to consider is the mental state of the person. If you're a person, for example, that blames everyone for your own problems, fancy psychological term is externalize. Everything else is someone else's fault. I lost my job not because I wouldn't show up to work on time and I would leave early every day. It was my boss was a jerk. Or, my boyfriend broke up with me not because I cheated on him 5 times, but because he's selfish. Okay, things like that. If you externalize, therapy probably isn't going to be a very constructive process for you because you're just going to continue to blame everyone else for your problems. You're not going to see a need for you to personally change. Dirty little secret number 3. I don't quote unquote fix people. People fix themselves. I'm a tool dispenser. For therapy to fully work, you have to want to change and seek it out. And then the people are the ones, the clients, the people that come to therapy are the ones that have to think differently and then feel differently and then act differently. I just give them the tools to do that themselves. I'm an assistant or a narrator. I'm not the main character or the main focus of the story here. I give people the things they can do to change themselves. We get them to challenge their thinking. If they have thoughts that don't match reality and are causing them problems, we challenge them to replace those thoughts with ones that do match reality. We can assist somebody in processing grief or trauma. We can encourage them to start being more active or to problem solve. We can teach them mindfulness exercises where basically people are taught how to empty their head of their negative thoughts and do things to help themselves live in the moment and be more complete people. We give people the opportunity to express how they feel and create ways to deal with their problems. There are several clients that come and I almost say nothing during the session. I say very little. They come in and they just spew out what they need to spew out, and then I help them connect the dots and piece it all together at the end. And that's constructive for some people, not all, but some. So going back to that one simple thing that makes everything better that we talked about at the top of the video, it's almost never one simple thing. It's usually a lot of things. And there are usually many things that you have to do to achieve the change that you want. And the tools that I just discussed are the ones, the challenging your thinking, to learning how to do different things, to push your limits, to become the best version of you can. So to wrap it up, therapy should always be with the consent of the client. I hate it when parents, drag their unwilling teenagers into therapy, because it's an uphill battle. Like it even less when husbands drag wives, or wives drag husbands or boyfriends or girlfriends into therapy, and they're not willing to participate, but they're being forced to. So it just becomes a passive aggressive kind of thing. The client is really the solution to the problem, not the therapist. If you get better, it's because you did the work. I can tell someone all the right things, but if they don't do anything with it, they're not going to change. So if you've gone through therapy and you've changed and you've been successful, it's on you. It's not on me. Therapists don't fix anything, as I said. We're tool dispensers, we're facilitators. So please keep an accurate kind of thinking process about what therapy is. I'm not some disciplinarian that's going to fix someone, make someone change, or make someone do something differently. Finally, to kind of wrap up completely, if you're feeling suicidal, if you're having any kind of negative thoughts that you're fearing for your safety, or you fear you may harm others, please call the suicide prevention hotline I'm going to put down in the description. It's free of charge and help is always available. Remember that suicide is a long-term solution to a short-term problem, so don't take that step, because most things usually get better. Thanks, guys. Have a great day, and we'll see you again next week with another video.